Right. So, welcome to another episode of Wealth Building Conference. Thank you for joining. Today is going to be another fully packed day. We're going to learn a lot from one of the seasoned realtor in Canada. Okay, but before we go into that, I just quickly want to make a quick disclosures and the way we used to start a meeting. I'm your regular host, Oludare Fasola, and I have in the house Opeyemi Oyedepo. He's going to take us through on how medical professionals and business owners can use real estate to save on taxes. All right. As you are joining, please, I want you to type your name and where you are joining from. If you are joining from Canada, please type your name and write Canada. If you are joining from United Kingdom, say your name and United Kingdom. And if you are joining from any part of Africa, anywhere in the world, right? Welcome. We just want to thank you for joining today. So, before we go into the presentation, I also want you to please share the link. It's going to be engaging as much as possible. We are not here to just talk. This is not just any webinar you used to attend. I can assure you that by the end of this presentation, we're going to have value for your time. Okay. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome once again. Welcome to another episode of Wealth Building Conference. I'm going to wait a little bit for our guests to join us again. Okay. I have our guests in the house again. We have a little bit of technical issue from here. Okay. Okay, you are here. All right. So, just before we go into the presentation, like I said earlier, it's going to be very, very engaging. I know a lot of people are actually waiting for Opeyemi to take us through what he has to share with us today. He has a lot of wealth of experience. But before we go into that, let me quickly introduce our guest speaker to you today, Opeyemi Oyedepo. 1 second while I just pull up the autobiography of Opeyemi Oyedepo. Opeyemi Oyedepo is a seasoned real estate agent, entrepreneur, and investor. He had a passion for ensuring all may purchase real estate by sharing the vital knowledge needed to be successful. Opeyemi was taught at a younger age that if you want something in life, you have to work for it. So that's what he did. And he worked hard. Opeyemi got into real estate industry about 12 years ago when he was looking for investment opportunity as an entrepreneur. As his real estate career advances, Opeyemi conducts private real estate coaching for clients as well as those interested in entering the world of real estate investing. After receiving similar questions from multiple coaching sessions, he realized easily digestible literature was needed to supplement coaching session. Opeyemi has published series of books designed to provide in-depth details in a consumable and easy digestible literature in buying, selling, and investing in real estate. He is an expert in sales, marketing, negotiation, and negotiation and problem solving. He has achieved He has passion for helping his client achieving success through educations and hands-on guidance. Through his career, Opeyemi has launched numerous accolades and recognitions as a top producer. Opeyemi is an ardent lover of all highest level of service to his client and take deep pride in helping them achieve real estate goals. Once again, please help me to welcome Opeyemi Oyedepo to the stage. Opeyemi, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Good evening, Mr. Oludare Fashola. Thank you
Good
so
evening.
much for this great opportunity. And one of the things that make me to admire you the most is this passion for success and helping others to succeed financially. Thank you for bringing me to this wonderful platform where we will be sharing not only the information that would help people to get out of any situation that they may find themselves financially, in terms of our medical professional and business owners, but something that can actually allow them to build generational wealth for their for the upcoming generation. Thank you so much.
You are.
All right. So is very very much focused and geared towards uh, our medical professionals and business owners. And somebody may ask, yes, I am a medical doctor. Most of our medical doctor, they are also business owners, because we are working with medical professionals that have one medical clinic, two medical clinic, and own multiple medical clinic. In that sense, they are business owners, and this presentation will be very very beneficial to them as well. So before we dive into it, I am somebody that is very used to medical professionals, and I know how busy they are. I know how passionate they are about their practice, and I would like to start my presentation the way I used to approach the way I interact with our medical professional and business owner, which is I am going to tell you a summary of what you need to put in mind and what you need to take home in this presentation. If at all, you didn't have that time, you have a busy schedule. The things I want to mention right now are the most important things that you need to put in mind. The first thing I want to mention is, as a medical professional, right, or a business owner, there is one other profession that you need to be engaged in actively, and that profession is real estate.
Wow.
You need to take real estate as a career. So let's please keep that in mind. Number two, as a medical professional, you are a high-end, high net worth individual in Canada. If you don't know, you are one of the 2% in high income earners in Canada, which puts you in a very very high tax bracket, which means that a lot will be expected from that income, right? And I know some of us know about how this taxation system work, and we are not here to discuss the tax, but I am here to help you to know how you can use real estate to to offset a lot of the taxes and build generational wealth. So let's get right into it. The other thing I wanted to tell you as well is, as a medical professional, you need to pay attention to very, very key areas of building wealth for the next generation. Because although if you don't use the right strategy, like what we want to discuss in during this presentation, yeah, there are a lot of loopholes where we need to make sure that we are ready, we are prepared for. So let me go into the next slide here. So real estate tax strategy, building wealth, pay less taxes, and creating legacy for your next generation. As a doctor, where are you today? You understand. Where are you? Where do you want to be? We will be diving into that in this presentation. So let's move to the next slide. Why this matters? Why are we talking about you as a medical professional? Why are we talking about saving on taxes? And why is it important that we make sure that we prepare for building wealth with our for the next generation income? The reason is that, as I already mentioned, you, as a medical professional or business owner, we are high income professionals, and we, as owners of businesses and medical professional, we have we pay a lot in taxes, right? We have a lot of taxes, and we need to look for a way how we can reduce those taxes, right? Now, the other why is we want to build passive income. We want you as a medical professional to be able to use other vehicles, other means to build wealth, so that as you are going into your your passion every day, there's somewhere where your money is also working for you, right?
Mm.
And those are the whys, and those are the key reasons why we think we can use, and how we can show you how to use real estate to strategically offset and take tax and have a lot of tax advantages. So let's move to the next slide. What is the real problem? The real problem is, as high income earners, right, we are in a tax bracket where we are around what we call the marginal tax rate, which some of us have experienced, which is around 50%. So high income professional face very high marginal tax rate in Canada. This is already known. This is the situation. And as a medical professional or a business owner, the traditional investments, such as vehicle like mutual funds, they do not have the type of futures. They don't have the real benefits of how you can reduce your taxes, because they don't have, you can, with mutual funds or other investment, you can have tangible assets. You can have leverage where you can invest, with a certain amount of money on a very much more bigger investment in real estate. And of course, cash flow and tax benefits are what part of some of the advantage of real estate investment. And of course, real estate investment are key to making us to grow. What are the real estate investment wealth vehicle? How does real estate help you to build wealth? Let's first of all, dive into that. Number one, appreciation. Your property appreciate over value over time. The number two is tax deduction. There are many areas, there are many things that can be deducted in taxes. Of course, when we start this journey, we have professionals in this area that will educate, that will help to understand what are those things, either be your mortgage interest, your property taxes. There are a number of lot of tax deduction that can be done. The other thing that real estate can help you to build wealth as a vehicle is cash flow. A lot of people, they have properties today, and that property, by the time you pay the expenses, you actually have some money coming back to you. So as a doctor, you can plan your retirement based on this real estate as a wealth vehicle. The last one is what we call leverage others people's money, which is one of the big factor in business today. That is, you don't want to work all the years and you cannot retire, when you can build wealth with real estate investment. So over 80% of Canadians own their homes, right? So we know that for sure, that it is very important. Real estate, it has been a tested vehicle to build wealth, unlike stock and other investment strategy. Let's go to the next slide. What are the tax advantage of real estate? Let's even talk about it, and let's break it down. Number one, depreciation. You can write off a lot of property wear and tear. As a medical professional, you are earning that high income. However, you have properties that can allow you to offset a lot of income, because you have been building this portfolio. We have, real estate, medical professional that have multiple, rental property, multiple residential property, that over years they can use it to offset a lot of taxes. Capital cost allowance. You can reduce your actual net income. Don't forget, I told you this. As a medical professional, see yourself today, as a real estate investor, as real estate as your business that you need to talk about every day. Property tax deduction. A lot of us, we look at real estate investment and say, oh, there's a lot of expense here, there's taxes and all that. These are all the things that you can use to offset your taxes. The property tax you pay on your property yearly. Operation and operating expense deduction are very, very key. There is hardly anything, you can talk to an accountant that you cannot deduct when you are running a real estate as an investment, as an investor. There are a lot of anything that you can think of, your gas, your even, most of the things that have to do with maintenance of the house are tax deductible. Let's go to the next slide. Now, how do I, as a medical professional, how do I start? What are the best way that I can start to invest in real estate? We want to talk about incorporation advantage. The reason is that most traditional real estate investors today, they will typically buy properties, right, as an individual, and they retain those property in their names. However, there are very great benefits in using your professional corporation and all the incorporation. A lot of medical doctors have been, trying to know, and they have the knowledge of why their medical corporation has a lot of advantage, because it's a incorporation where you have though limited liability, and there are some part of the asset that are protected. However, an holding corporation even has a much more better and is much more very strategic when you want to invest in real estate. So we will this itself is a big topic on its own, because when you are having when you have an holding corporation, you can actually move money from your personal corporation to those holding corporation, and those corporation those money are actually sheltered. Your retaining earnings are sheltered in an holding corporation as opposed to professional corporation. So we know the advantage. If you are running a real estate investment with your professional corporation or holding corporation, you can retain income at a lower corporate rate, because this investment you are making, you are being taxed at the corporate rate at around 12.5%. Okay. This strategy will also allow you to invest the corporate profit into real estate, as I mentioned earlier, without you taking this as an income or dividend from the corporation account. And that has a large and huge tax benefit, which I will give you an example later on. So you can also avoid double taxation with proper structure. We have accountants, we have group of professional and financial strategy like Mr. Oludare that will help you to make sure that your leverage and your tax and your taxation, it's very, very strategic to make sure that you can even put more money into your real estate investment portfolio. Cool. Let's go to the next. Now let's look at an example here. So this is just a projection, and this is just a sample what Dr. Smith case study looked like. And this illustration is very, very conservative. Real estate, you could get more than this, but conservatively, let's say as a medical professional, you are earning around $350,000 annually, and you move $150,000 dollars into your personal corporation or into your holding corporation and use it to invest in a rental property, for example. Well, that $150,000 that you have moved, just because you are investing from your holding corporation, for an example, there is a difference of around 41,000 tax savings between if you have taken that money as an income. Because if you have taken that money as an income or a dividend, your tax bracket will be around about around 50%,
Wow.
thereabout 40 and 50%. Yeah.
That's
So
huge.
yeah, so we're talking about you deducting expense, writing off expense of around $25,000, and we can tell you that on a very with a very conservative analysis, which when we sit down we can show you the data and everything. Within a 10-year, that portfolio, that $150,000 that you are taking out of that corporation can make you build a network that is at least minimum of $1.5 million.
Wow. That's massive. That's
Yeah.
very, very massive.
So building generational wealth. Why is it important? It's important because one of the things why we, as whatever profession we are, especially medical doctor, professional, and business owner, is that we want to make an impact in this world. I've not seen anybody that doesn't want to, make an impact into their children's life, into their children's life. So, and just to divert a little bit, some doctors have asked me a couple of times, these investments we're talking about, is it still, will I just be buying a rental property? I don't like rental. I don't like, and I tell them, yes, of course, rental property investment is one of the proven and tested real estate investment strategy in the whole world, not just in Canada. However, one of the benefits of investing in real estate is diversification. You have several diverse portfolio of real estate investment portfolio that you can take advantage of, right? So building generational wealth. Even before we talk about you building generational wealth, as a doctor, real estate can help you to plan retirement.
Hmm.
I have seen, dozens of doctors I work with today that are on this path already. I have people that are buying one property every year, and they are strategically, building wealth for the generation. But I'm telling you, they will enjoy a lot of this wealth, even during their lifetime, because of it is real estate. So asset transfer, real estate passes through, your cooperation, your wills, and your trust. That's one of the key advantage of using real estate. Compound growth, right? I used to talk to my friends, when we talk, I said that I think compounding is one of the, seven wonders of the world, because if you understand compounding, right, is one of the most powerful concepts that
Cool.
exists today. So ask Warren Buffett; he will tell you that just put it there and wait for it to compound. So compounding works because your appreciation on your property compounds. You
Hmm.
know, when you have an equity, in your property, you can take that money out, and reinvest it, and you double that money, and you have two money now working for you, right? So
Wow.
income preservation, family retained income generating assets. You know, these are what the most wealthy people today, that they actually, you wonder, what are these people doing? These are the strategy that they have laid down, that they are even previous generation have laid down for them, and that's what they are using today. So next generation benefits are very, very important. As we talked about it, a lot of us have vision of where we want our children to be, and key benefit from refinance or sale of your property in the
Hmm.
future. There's a lot of tax advantage to that.
Wow. Wow.
So let's go to the next. Now, I wanted to talk about this very, very important step as a medical profession now, or a business owner. When you are looking at real estate is a very important financial vehicles that you need to understand what you need. Is like a car that needs, a gas to run, in day out. You need to understand why life insurance strategy is very, very critical to your real estate investment portfolio.
Hmm.
Take for an example, a lot of people, what are the tax implications when I'm transferring my asset to my children? what are the tax implications when I'm selling my property, when I pass on and all those things. In fact, some people ask, what are the tax implications if I want to take money out of my business, as we said, out of my corporation, my personal corporation to invest in real estate. Life insurance as a strategy solve most of those problems. Life insurance can allow you, to take money out of your corporation into a vehicle that is growing, that is protecting your asset, but still you take advantage of that money and use it to build wealth. So it is a strategy that works in hand to hand together. So that's why this slide talk about strategic borrowing, right? Strategic borrowing. You are borrowing money, from your own money, but you are not paying tax. You are paying interest, right?
Cool.
And if you think about it, if you are paying interest, if some of us are very savvy investors, when you are talking about interest, even 25% interest, we still talk about, is it 25%? You understand? We know how to go about it. If you tell, a savvy, multi-billionaire that, oh, you will pay 25% on the interest, you will look at what he will get, when he use that money. Maybe he's going to get 200%, but when we hear about taxes, oh my God, it is the end, because we are talking about 50%. Just think about it as a medical professional. 50% of that income versus 10, even at the max, 7%, 6%, as a high income earner, you have a lot of advantage when it comes to interest, because we can show you that everybody wants to give you, that interest, and is competitive because they want to be the one that will give you, the lowest interest. So tax-free legacy, pass on both an asset classes, you pass them on tax-free, tax-free to the next generation. So these are, very, very important strategy that we will be talking, together, bringing and breaking it down in detail for you. So real estate plus life insurance strategy is one of the key strategy you need as a medical professional. Next slide. What are the common mistakes to avoid? A lot of people, they reach out today, they said, I have already started, this real estate investment journey, and this is where I am today. Of course, we will sit down with you as investment strategy. We will, we will bring together, the professionals that you need to, to put everything in order. But do not buy in your personal name only, right? Because it is not future proof for you as a medical professional. It is not future proof. So don't purchase in your name, purchase in your corporation, either your personal corporation or the holding corporation. But we can tell you the advantage of each of them and which one is best for you at what point in time. One of the other common mistakes you want to avoid is you are not consulting the right expert. You understand? From this profession, I have learned something very, very important. People in the last 4 years or 5 years in Canada has made, most of the people made the biggest mistake in real estate because they didn't consult the right professional. Please, sometimes we have a lot of tax advisor, a lot of real estate real estate investment expert, and even a lot of mortgage, brokers that want to, give you a product. You need to look for somebody that wants to protect your best interest, right? So you need to consult the right expert. And I won't overemphasize on that, but that is huge, because there is a difference when you pay somebody, a professional, who will help you to avoid a pitfall of hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm telling you, hundreds of thousands of dollars. You cannot imagine buying a property that you bought for 1.8 million and today you value 1.2 million or 1.3 million. So one of the other things that we want to talk about to make sure why you need an analyst, a real estate investment strategic analysis, is that you don't want to over leverage. There is a lot of medical professionals today. They have that income, but their uh, investment strategy is not giving them a proper analysis that ensures that there is income. Cash flow is king. So, for example, you cannot buy a property of $1 million, for example, and the mortgage is 4,000, but all the income that is coming into that from that property is 2,500. Right?
Mm.
Cash flow is very, very important. You don't want to over leverage. When you over leverage, you also don't look attractive to the lenders or to leverage itself, because the people that get the banks and financial institution, they are your leverage, and you will not look attractive to them as well. The other thing that I see that a lot of people fail to do, that is a common mistake, is there is no exit strategy. I always, in fact, once I sit down with most of my medical profession, they wonder the way I'm thinking, because once we talk about one step, I talked about the other. I look at it from the other ends. That okay, what about if this doesn't happen? What do we do in this case? So we will not actually recommend or put down a solution if we don't know what are the ways we can get out of or exit um, that strategy, and the succession plan as well about that strategy. When I see, a professional is buying some type of product in real estate, maybe a condo in downtown, I start advising them on, strategic way they can protect that, investment. Do you have a child, that is going to, most likely, be schooling in the University of Toronto? We start getting into real, futuristic and strategic plan, and they wonder, they said, okay, this, I think this is what I want, this is the type of the way I want to be thinking as well. So let's move into this next slide. Action step. What am I supposed to do? Again, I appreciate your time. I appreciate a lot of you that will listen to this, recording even after, this session is over. And I want to tell you that this is just, this is just one out of many of this, session that we're going to have it. But these are the things that I want you to do. Again, don't forget the loopholes to avoid, but set up a personal corporation. A lot of us already have that, but set up an holding corporation. Please reach out and make sure that this is set up properly. I've had situation whereby people didn't do it. It was not properly done, and it was used for the purchase of the property, and we have to revert back
Wow.
into the personal corporation. Yes. So let's give you the right expert that can work with you. Work with a real estate financial strategy and tax advisor. These are um your to go people. These are the people that will take care of. After all, um they will be a guide, and they will be a protector. They will protect your best interest. These
Mm.
people, if you work very, very close with them. you know the next thing, I've already said my slide even before we get identify cash flow property. I heard a lot of, a doctor, I am one doctor we were talking about a month ago, and he told me that there was an investment that somebody introduced to him, and the person told him that, don't worry, real estate these days, you cannot make you cannot make positive cash flow. And I told him, and I actually gave him about 12 different portfolio, and I
Mm.
said, doctor, did you see this property? This property, this is the amount, 6,700. This property is not far away. This property is in Mississauga, but do you know why? Look at the basement. Look at the main level. This is so I started showing him, and he was his mind was blown, and he said, oh, they told me that not in this real estate market. That it will be I now actually told you that that will be a big mistake in this current market if you can't find an investment that will cash flow. You should. This is the time for you to find it. In fact, combined with insurance and estate planning. Don't miss that. It's a big topic, that we will we will have a lot of a live program that have been speaking about this topic, and we will talk more and more about it because it is huge. We can really tell you and show you that if you use the right products, the right insurance and estate planning product, it will make your real estate investment journey easier and even more tax rewarding for you and your family.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you so much. I think we have come to the end of this presentation, but we know that we will be having more and more of this session, and we would like to, if most of this information we've shared, feel free to consult the right expert. Make sure you have the right people that on your side that are ready to work in your best interest. Don't forget that. But if you want to reach out to us at any point in time, this is what we do, and we have our testimony. We can share with you what we have been able to help doctors in Canada achieve all over Canada. Thank you so much, Mr. Oludare, for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Realtor Opeyemi Oyedepo. If you get value for today's meeting, please, I want you to drop your comment. I want you to drop it on the comment chat, value. If you get value for today's presentations, I want you to drop it on the comment section, value. Please, let's give it to our presenter today, Opeyemi Oyedepo, just for you to know, right? I've been in that, I've made that mistake in the past, like, trying to do things on my own without consulting the right professional, and actually burnt my fingers. And that is why I'm actually bringing this to everybody, right? Not only medical professional this time around, immigrants that are looking to go into real estate. Opeyemi Oyedepo is that go expert that can help you, all right, to make your real estate journey very fast and accelerate it in such a way that it's going to give you not only wealth, but to help you to pass it to the next generation. So, Opeyemi Oyedepo, I want to say thank you so much for coming. But before we go, right, I just want to ask you some few questions just for our viewers out there to know why do you actually focus on medical professionals? And I want you to also tell us, right, like in your portfolio, in all, your client, like how many of your clients constitute, like what are your client base? How many of them are medical professionals? I don't need the numbers, just give me on percentage, right? And what are your experience working with this professional?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Oludare Fasola. You have asked a very, very great question, and it's this simple. You might be a medical professional there. If you are in Ontario, you might not know me, but I might know you. That is how big my client portfolio is. I deal with medical doctor day in, day out. 80% of my client base are medical doctor
Wow.
today,
Wow, that's huge. That's huge.
by the grace of God. And the reason is that, let me tell you the reason. The reason is I know exactly what you need, right?
Hmm.
You don't just need somebody to help you to buy houses, to buy properties. You need somebody to take care of your investment.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
so yes, and that is a big one, to take care of your investment like their own. And we have the resources. We are blessed with resources. I have a property management company that does all. What it does is, you buy a property today, you go and sleep, you just receive your rental income every month.
Wow.
It's only when you call me, sometimes I can't even pick up. Call me back. Oh, this money is still coming. I have people that have been telling me for the past 4 years. These are
Wow.
people that I can introduce you to. There are people that have been asking me, how do you collect this rent? They are still paying the rent. I said yes, because we know the right way to real estate investment.
Amazing. Wow. That's fantastic. Please, let's give it to Opeyemi Oyedepo. Please, I want you to also please give to just put on the comment section value. If you are getting value for this, presentation, I want to ask you, Opeyemi Oyedepo, a lot of medical professionals, they are, they are what they are thinking right now, or they are kind of not really they are not really okay to go into the market, thinking that if I buy, right, because of the market right now, people will not want to, there is houses of collecting rent or maybe getting their income when they put that rental property in order. I want to ask you, right, how have you been able to help other medical doctors to do this? And I also want to know, can you help other medical doctors? Because you are in Ontario, right? We have other medical doctors listening to us in Alberta,
Yes.
in Nova Scotia, in New Brunswick, in British Columbia. They really want to invest, right, in real estate market. Are you able to help other people in other province? And again, how are you being able to manage, managing medical professionals rental property, and they are also, making good cash flow?
Thank you very much. So let me start by talking about the market right now and what medical professional or as buyers that wants to invest. So what we are doing right now and what this has been the history. Whatever you see in the market today in Canada might be a little bit more of volatility in the market, meaning that, oh, this is, interest rate is, is coming down now, it stopped, you know, it all comes to the historical event of how real estate work. So my advice to doctors when they ask me, is this the right time for me to buy? The first answer is the right time is when you are ready, when you have the resources. The second thing is how do you invest is the next important thing. So let me throw it out there. If you are ready to invest, one of the benefit of investing in a market like this is that there are also opportunities. There are also distress sales. There are also people that need to sell, right? I have seen in the market today people that bought properties for 1.8, 1.9 million, and they are ready to let it go for 1.1 and 1.2 because
Wow.
it has to go. So that is why my answer to you, let's find the right real estate investment for you, irrespective of market. And by the way, I have written books on, real estate investment, which we will share with you. And one of the theme of that book is whether in hot, cold, or warm market, as a real estate investor, you should be positioned to invest.
Wow.
Number two, for all our viewers in all parts of Canada, in BC, in Alberta, anywhere you might be, we can help you 100%.
Wow.
What we do is we have a team across Canada that work in hand to hand. The most important thing is we will find and we will be with you with the right guidance, with the right expert all along the way. But because all along the way is that we is not after when that property is purchased, even until the end, we monitor every year. We deal with the day-to-day management of this property. So just reach out to us. If it will involve us being on ground, you will definitely see us on ground as well, right?
Wow.
And
Wow.
those are the ways we have been helping all the medical doctors across Canada.
All right. So once again, I want to say thank you so much, Real Talk Opeyemi Oyedepo. For those of us who want to reach out to Opeyemi Oyedepo, I have a QR code here. You can scan the QR code. You will be on to Opeyemi Oyedepo, and he will be willing to guide you through your real estate journey. Like, one of the things that I also want to say here today is that, Africa, right, we feel we know everything, we want to do things on our own. Like, I want to please encourage you, please seek professional advice before you do anything. Okay. The reason why we have professionals is for you to be able to have value for your money, right? think about it. If you don't seek professional advice and you put your money on, no, I'm not talking about real estate this time around alone. I'm talking about any form of investment whatsoever that you might be talking about. If you don't, look for professionals that have not only professional, but people that have experience. Like we're talking about medical professional right now and business owner, people that have experience in that niche. They know what it is, they know how the markets look like, they know how they have been helping other people in the past to make sure they get value for their money. So you can reach out to Opeyemi Oyedepo. On this note, I'm going to bring this meeting to an end. We are still coming back. Opeyemi is still coming back. Opeyemi, you have not really shared your books that you've written about real estate. But maybe next time we're going to do the presentation, I would like to come with maybe one or two, right? So that we can share it. For those that want to, get the books on Amazon, they can actually go and get the books on Amazon so that, you can see how passionate Opeyemi Oyedepo is when it comes to real estate, business and investment. Again, if you are looking for, mentorship, right? Opeyemi Oyedepo have written so many books on real estate investment and how to also mentor young professionals who are looking to, start their career in real estate. Is also a good expert in that area. He can also mentor you. And we have a team of professionals also, regardless of what you are looking for: accounting, financial advisory, financial planning, estate, will, trust. We have professionals in those areas. Even if you want to also, be visible out there to all to people, in order for them to know what you're actually doing. Don't forget that no matter how brilliant you are, if nobody knows you, you don't know anything. So we have experts that are going to guide you on how to do that. We're also coming up with some, we are actually launching very, very soon our non-profit organizations on how we want to also leverage, all right, Black immigrants, on how we want to raise, successful people who are very passionate about the smart way of making money. So we're also coming with that very, very soon. So we have a lot of, fully packed programs, right? Events like that will help us to move to the next level. Don't forget, we are Black, we are immigrant, and we need to expose ourselves. We need to help ourselves to build wealth. On this note, we're going to bring this meeting to an end. Thank you so much, Opeyemi Oyedepo, for coming today. And thank you all for our viewers out there. This is World Building Conference. See you next week for another fully packed program. Thank you and do enjoy your weekend. Bye for now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye.